let's get into where the Lions rank. All right, we're going to click on good old Detroit right here. The Detroit Lions. Drum roll, please. All right, do we have a drum roll? I don't have a drum roll. I should probably get a drum roll. Why don't I have a drum roll? Let's see. Well, I guess we'll do this. Okay. Breaking news, I guess, is enough, right? We don't have a drum roll, but the Detroit Lions are number 4. The Detroit Lions, according to Ben Solak, have the number 4 offseason in the NFL. All right. Kane Press says we won't be the best team in NFC North because we ain't made no damn moves, and the Patriots just got Stephon Diggs. I think Patriots getting Stephon Diggs is a bad move. But here we go. These are the reasons why the Detroit Lions are in the number 4 spot. And there is one NFC North team above them, and we will talk about that team in a bit. All right, so the Detroit Lions, we have key acquisitions and returning players. Linebacker, Derek Barnes. Cornerback, DJ Reed. Defensive tackle, Levi Onwuzurike. Edge, Marcus Davenport. Defensive tackle, Roy Lopez. All right, so for me, as I am being billed as the Davenport hater, I apparently, okay. Again, I don't hate Marcus Davenport. I just hate his health. Just hate his health situation. I'd love for Marcus Davenport to get every cent of that $4.75 million that he signed as an incentive-laden deal, because that means that he's played the entire season. That means he's gotten sacks. That means he's gotten tackles for losses. Tackles for loss. That means he's done all the things that he needed to do and it was expected of him when he signed with this team originally. I want that to happen. I'm a Detroit Lions fan. Okay? Most people who can help the team, I want them on the team. Other than Jeffrey O'Hell-Nokuda, who couldn't help the team, who I didn't want on the team. All right? But most people. Okay? No, the Bears are not anywhere near number 1. They're not even in the top 10K for their moves. All right. So here's what he says. He has them in 2 paragraphs. I loved and I didn't love. So he says, I love the retentions. The Lions lone big ticket free agent addition was Reed, who replaces the outgoing Carlton Davis III at a $4 million yearly discount. $4 million yearly discount. That's a solid swap. Otherwise, they kept Barnes on a cheap deal relative to other linebackers, Onwuzurike, an ascending pass rushing defensive tackle who had to moonlight as a defensive end last season, and Davenport, who was a good scheme fit but missed almost the entire season with injury. Offensive tackle Dan Skipper is back too, and wideout Tim Patrick. Sometimes Super Bowl contenders unnecessarily shuffle the deck. The Lions were wise to keep the band together and continue trusting in their process. All right, now here's the situation. There really one player that he mentioned, or we could say 2, but I did already talk about Marcus Davenport. So let's mention the one player. Levi Onwuzurike is an ascending pass rushing defensive tackle who had 3 half sacks. I get the pressures, but when you have 22 defenders on IR, you need to get home. I understand he wasn't playing next to Aidan Hutchinson. I know he wasn't really playing next to Aleem McNeil. He was playing next to DJ Reader, who was a big ticket, not a big ticket, but a big acquisition last year when he came in free agency. Remember, I said, do not let this man out of town, out of the building. And they locked him in the building, quite literally. They didn't book a return flight for him back to Houston. Nothing. They didn't let him leave the building without a contract. Okay? This is what I said that they should do. This is what they did. But unlike other Lions creators, I'm not going to tell you that I was the reason that the Detroit Lions did anything. The Detroit Lions don't watch my channel. Okay? Former Detroit Lions know about my channel. Shout out Herman Moore and LNU. Okay? However, the current Detroit Lions, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, they don't watch Motor City Cats and look for inspiration as to what they should do and shouldn't do. Okay, that's just not how they operate. But he wasn't really playing next to anyone other than DJ Reader because everyone was injured. This is the time when you say that a person is ascending. Well, they need to step up and show what they can do. And I don't think Levi Onwuzurike with 3 half sacks did a terrible amount to bolster his talent argument. Now, because he didn't do great on a contract year, because the production of, if you're billing yourself as a pass rushing lineman because you want that $20 million a year, well, having 3 half sacks doesn't do it. So this is why he came back on a very cheap deal. I think it was 5.5 million or up to 5.5 million. So the contract is great. You have a depth piece who's been on your team, who was finally healthy for the first time last year. I would expect him, because he's finally healthy, I would expect him going into this year to have a much better year than last year. He's going to be in a rotation with Roy Lopez and himself and whatever possible rookie that we could bring in here. If it's a first round rookie, if it's a rookie at 28, if it's a Derek Harmon or someone else like that, then yeah, he's not going to be starting in the rotation, or he's not really going to be at the top of the rotation. It's going to be the rookie plus DJ Reader, unless you happen to beat him out in camp. So that move for the Detroit Lions, while it was important depth wise, I don't know that I love it, right? But it was also very important for the Detroit Lions, as we're going to get into a little bit later, to bring back their own free agents. There were a lot of free agents. A lot. I think it was 20 or something like this. Okay? So that's a lot of people that you have to get under contract. So I get it, and I understand it from that aspect. J-Rod says, I'm confused. The Lions org don't watch podcasts for ideas or moves? Probably not. I don't think so. There are others who believe that the Lions organization watched them and changed things for them. They changed the way they do press conferences. They changed the way that their body language works and moves, and how they talk about the moves that they're going to make. Apparently, they move around times of press conferences for people, stuff like that, But I would never claim that this is what's happening with me and my channel. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Go ahead, get them super chats in, man. Remember, your boy is trying to come home and do a game at Ford Field this summer, right after training camp or during training camp, one of the preseason games, depending on when that happens. I don't know when it's going to happen. The schedule hasn't been released yet, but that is what that is. What up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P here. Listen, if you want to continue keeping your Lions news pragmatic, if you want to keep getting the stats and not none of that static, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share and let everybody know what's going on around here. And turn on your notifications, because how else would you know that we're up in here keeping your Lions news pragmatic? Appreciate you once again, and we are out. Peace.